Right, guys, so just joining back now. Sorry about that, completely threw me out of the game, and in doing so, it also shut Twitch down as well. So, back up and running, just rejoining. We'll see what's happening. So, back with it. The Gooner still leading, but Carton King very much having called up onto the back of him. Really making those hards work. Well, here's KK. Get the tyres up. Chunky in P3, Pete in P4. Chris 5, Fatal 6. It's a difficult one, this. Hopefully, back to normal now. And we can really see what goes on. This could well be a great battle between these two. Now, you would think, we were only just about coming up to the end of lap 6, that the Gooner would still have a pace advantage here. But going by this, the hards are by far the superior tyre. So now in general, mediums go about 10 laps. You might squeeze 11 or 12 out of them and then switch, but the normal thing around here would be to do sort of 9 or 10 on mediums really, and then 12 or 13 on hards, but you can squeeze 11 or 12 out of the mediums if you'd rather stay out. And we've got an incident at Eau Rouge, has small losses out. It's crashed over on the right hand side. Don't know if we saw, yeah, you could just about see him in the background there. But no sign of a safety car, so we continue on. To be fair, he is off track, so shouldn't really need a safety car for that. And we got a spinner. Twiglet is round in sector 2, start of sector 2. So our field really early on in this race has actually split out, separated out quite a lot, quite possibly because of the lobby issues. I don't think it was me. It wasn't just me as comms that was affected. It was definitely some of the drivers too. And I believe X11 was one of them, who was our pole sitter. KK opens up DRS. Looks too far back for me. The Gooner will have to make a choice here, because for me personally, he needs to pit early on these mediums, because if he goes the 10 laps, if he pits lap 10, potentially KK can do the same thing, or just pit a lap later and get an overcut on him, which with the Gooner going to hards and having to heat them up should be pretty strong. So, oh, KK runs wide coming out of Pouon, which is giving him a 3-second penalty. That's absolutely what he didn't want to do. He poured the pressure on the Gooner. And I suppose it gets our two leaders on an equal footing, which in a way does make it more interesting for us to spectate. Apologies to the rest of the drivers that we are kind of sticking with the two leaders, but they are our closest battle on track, so and as I say that, Chips, oh, door closed on him at the back of the Red Bull, but doesn't look like any damage was caused, at least not to himself. So we'll continue on. Let's just get back to the leaders because we're approaching, I thought we were approaching the DRS zone, but actually we've come out of that, so Fatal the latest to pick up penalty. Another track this, just like Suzuka earlier on in my earlier race. Another track where it is actually pretty easy to pick up penalties. There's a yellow flag there, but by the time I looked down at the track it had already disappeared, so I had no idea who it was. So how's the Gunnar doing on an energy? So KK does have the energy advantage at the moment, but it's only by about 15%. Gunnar's, it's not as if he's having to use lows to defend this. Gunnar, he's doing well. We have got another battles developed. Lismore's getting pretty close to the back of Fatal. And Mamula now picks up a penalty. As the Gunnar pits, so he has pitted slightly early. I think that's clever from the Gunnar. He may be listening to me actually, the Gunnar, but well, no, he won't be because I disconnected, didn't I? So he's been racing, so he couldn't have possibly got back on. Let's go down to this battle then, freeway battle, particularly going on between Fatal and Lismore as these guys pass the Gunnar. As he is on pit exit now. I thought we might just see his car appear on the left, but not quite. There he was in the background, right just before that we switched screens. Is this battle going on? Very much like the battle for the lead. It's oh, and we got a retiree. Chips is out. I think it's in the pits. He's retired in the pits. So I have no idea why he's retired. But retire he has. At least that won't cause a safety car. I don't like to see retirements in the pits when maybe he had some damage. Lee Man City's into the pits. He's putting hards on. This battle continues. It is a freeway battle, so between Fates of Defiance, Lismore and Hunter. So the Gunnar's on the back of these guys, about 2.5 seconds behind, so which is handy for him. He does have a bit of space to drive into. As KK pits, he has gone for the overcut still, despite Junkie pitting early. Now, like I said earlier, the mediums will do 12 laps. I know because I've done them. So they will do 12 laps. Really, yeah, there's the Gunnar just turning into turn 1. There is KK exiting the pits. It's worked. The overcut has worked. It's brilliant from the front two. He's had to back out there, KK, as Hunter comes through. So that's going to allow the Gunnar to get that much closer to him. The Gunnar doesn't have DRS, but it doesn't really matter. KK just needs to be able to get those mediums up to temperature now. Oh, and music to KK's ears. The Gunnar picks up another 3 seconds. So now he doesn't even have to keep him behind. He can just needs to stay within a gap of him, but keep him behind as long as he can. Anyway, let's go back to the front, actually. So this is the battle for P1 now. It is and it isn't, if you see what I mean, because they've got a pit still, all three of them. And you know one of them is going to pit this lap. They have to. There's an undercut on here. There's a difference. If you pit into mediums, an undercut is possible. If you pit into hards, it's the other way round. So... Look how... Yeah, that wasn't Lismore's finest moment there. He went really deep in that corner, attempting an overtake, and Hunter was the one that's pitted, and I think he's done the right thing. As long as he comes out in clean air, that's the important thing. What that little incident has done, though, is split KK and Daguna. So KK's into P2, Daguna's in 4 still. They're all having a go. KK's through. He takes the lead. Daguna is going to appear on the right, just as Fatal wanted to go to the right. Yeah. It was all happening all at the same time then. Just keep going, Fatal. Don't worry too much. But of course, that battling is going to play into Hunter's hands, who was pitted to the medium tyres. For me, he gets an undercut here on Lismore and Fatal. So, KK leads then 1.8 seconds over Daguna. Chips has left the session. He's one of our retirees. Okay, Valungus right on the back of Fatal. Valungus is on 6-lap old medium, so I believe he'll have to pit to softs later. KK sets fastest lap. Fatal doesn't pit. Did Lismore? No, Lismore stayed out. And that's just playing even more into Hunter's hands. He's going to get the jump on both of those easy now. I said it was important that Hunter came out in clean air. Oh, his X11 does a donut at the bus stop chicane. But Hunter has got that clean air, and he's now got, with the exception maybe of Mamulo's on fresh softs, he's got the fastest tyres on the track at the moment as well. Hunter, so for me now, that undercut's going to be huge. I bet he comes, by the time the other two have both pitted, I bet he's a good 4 or 5 seconds ahead of them. So there is the potential that Lismore and Fatal might be pushing out their hard tyre stint to go for softs in the second half. Their second stints. Valungus, meanwhile, has got past Fatal for P5. But as I say, I believe he has to pit again. I don't think he can get these mediums to the end. So, the actual race itself is not over. KK has not won this race yet. We saw in the first stint that the mediums didn't hold the advantage over the hards for a particularly long time. So, around about lap 6 on these mediums, the advantage will sway back to Daguna. It's just whether Daguna can catch him again. Now, I believe, I don't want to look at penalties just yet, but From what I've seen, can remember seeing on the screen, I believe KK's got 3 and Daguna's got 6. So at the moment, the advantage lies with KK in that sense. But of course, on a track like this, it can change so fast. So if you're Daguna, you can't really think about that. You just got to drive the race as you would, because he could pick up another 3 seconds at any moment. So Twiglet into the pits, having completed his hard run. And he will switch to mediums to see out the rest of the race. So, got any little battles going on? Junkie on Lismore. It's a bit of a mismatch, really. Junkie's fresh hard tyres against Lismore's very worn hard tyres now. So, it's Hunter. He's still got a bit of space ahead of him, Hunter, so he's still driving into clean air. In fact, Chris and Pete are actually ahead of him, so they don't need to pit. They're going to the end, so he's actually going to have to get past them. But in terms of the battle he was in, I do believe he's going to get a big undercut. As Lismore is into the pits, it's Fatal following him. He is indeed. So both Lismore and Fatal into the pits. Hunter is already coming out of the chicane. So we said it was going to be a big undercut, and it really is. So Lismore, you see, not even on the exit yet. And Hunter is through a rouge, or going through a rouge. So huge undercut from Hunter. That does show very good tactical awareness from Hunter. But he's got a job on his hands now. He's got Chris and Pete ahead of him on hard tyres. Both drivers he will want to get past with the tyre advantage at the moment. But of course, Hunter does have a penalty. They don't. So it's not just getting past. They've got to get on the road as well. And Hunter's best chance is to get past the likes of Chris straight away. Pete's a bit further up the road, so that may be a different story. It's Mamula, and that could be a safety car, and it is. And that completely changes the race again. And Lismore could suddenly go back up the rankings. He's not going to go up as far as first, but they're going to start pitting. Surely they're going to softs. KK stayed out. He's going to pick up the safety car straight away. The Gooner pits for softs. And all of a sudden, completely switches round again. And the Gooner is now on the best tyre by a mile. Just to make matters worse for the guys ahead of him, he gets out ahead of Chris and Hunter. So he's still in P3. So Lismore can't take that position. Got to stay behind Pete. So no, he didn't really gain anything, did he? Still P8. Mind you, there are 4 drivers ahead of him that didn't pit. So Hunter, Chris, Junkie Emperor, and Carton King all stayed out. Well, if the Gooner didn't have 6 seconds of penalties to KK's 3, and obviously Junkie's none, I'd say he's a huge favourite, but those extra penalties could prove vital. Victorious pits. It may as well have gone another lap before switching to your softs, buddy. You weren't going to catch the back of the safety car this lap. I think you'll find that's probably what Twiglet's doing. And Lehman City. Oh, big lockups from Lee there. So Mamula leaves the session. So disappointing debut in the end from Mamula, but shows some good driving and ability. So, in my opinion, he'd definitely be welcome back for future races. Oh, my phone's died. Excellent. So now I can't see any comments. Right. Put my phone on charge. Oh, Puscat. Hello, where are you going? Right then, so Lismore. Let's put another set of softs on. Swiglet is in, so doing what I thought. So, yes, I don't think they're going to catch it this lap either. It's already up at the end of the straight, so I think lap 18 could be under safety car as well. These laps are ticking away, and they're all laps for potential overtakes for these guys, and less laps, less likely you are to get up the field a bit. And, people looking in good positions here. Obviously, Junkie and Chris, penalty free, could really benefit from that come the end of the race. Pete, X11, Lismore potentially as well. Could well benefit. And Lycorius might be able to nick a point or so. Well, you'll get points in a way, of course. It's everybody scores points at finishes in HRF1, but might nick an extra couple of points. So Twiglet is going to catch the back of the safety car. It's just going around. Back of the safety car, just going around the second right-hander. Excuse me. So it's just round here. You should see it somewhere up here. There it is. And Lycorius is also getting pretty close, but it won't get there in time as the actual safety car itself is going through the chicane. So we will be doing, unfortunately, basically a full lap under safety car where all the cars are called up. Lycorius, if you've got another fresh set of softs, you may as well pit. Nope, not going to do it. Fatal did. Fatal's doing it. Never know, that little bit less wear could prove vital. Or fatal. Sorry, I made myself giggle then. Do apologise. I know it was terrible. So So we get ready to start going again at the end of this lap. So it'd be lap 19 we resume, which means 4 laps remaining, 19, 20, 21 and 22. Somehow the Gooner has to get past his teammate, Junkie. Now they tell me that they are fighting now to the end of the season, such as their gap as Ferrari, that they will fight each other to the end of the season. On the other hand, I can't say I'd really blame. I mean, look at Junkie's rear tyres. They look worn, but they shouldn't be that worn. They're hard tyres, done 7 laps, a few of which have been under safety cars, so they shouldn't be worn. But they looked a little bit rusty, unless he picked some up. Yeah, that right one. The right one, our left, looks okay now. I think maybe he picked some up. But yeah, I mean, me in this situation, I'm not going to lie to you. I would get out of the way of my teammate, even though we've said we're going to fight to the end. But we'll see what the 2 Ferraris do. I think if the longer you keep him behind, the less chance he's got of going off and winning the race. Having said that, Junkie can win this race. There's no reason he can't keep up with Carton King. 7-lap mediums to 7-lap hards. They should be pretty similar at the moment. And he's penalty-free, Junkie. So actually, that would suggest, why on earth would he let his teammate through? Just looking down the line, make sure everyone gets going again. Okay, they do seem to. We got a little side-by-side going on here. This is Twiglet going past Le Mans City. And that is softs against hards. Oh, and Twiglet picks himself a penalty for his troubles as well. And the Ferraris do swap positions. Now that could have actually just been a genuine overtake. The fresh softs against the sort of part worn hards. I wouldn't call them worn hards, but how quickly can the Gooner get past KK? Because that is the big question, really. As X11, I think, got ahead of his teammate, and it's left his teammate vulnerable to Pete, who gets through as well. Ooh, ran wide there, Pete. Didn't pick up a penalty on this occasion, but would have got a warning. And, McLaren and Lismore having a little look at Valungus as well. Actually look like we've got a good little battle at the back at the moment as well. So as I said, remember, all positions score points. So this is Le Mans City on hards in P11 with Lycorius directly behind him and Fatal on the back of both. No room there. What's the change going on here? This is a Gooner lets Carton King back through there, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but whatever did happen is allowed Junkie Emperor into the lead of this race. I can only assume that KK and the Gooners had a little come together, maybe. I'm going to stop the Gooner having a look down the outside of here. Oh god, it's a terrible angle. I'm really happy to say that in the background there, oh, Pete actually has been around. I'm not happy to say that, but I'm really happy to see X11 back up into P4, penalty free, potentially on course now to get the result he deserves after qualifying. So I'm pleased for him there. I'm sure you still say a bit frustrated, but Let's Defiance picks up a few seconds. He's up to P9 now. Slightly annoying for him because Twiglet had a penalty. Actually, I think Twiglet... Let's look at the penalties now. We're on lap 20. So... Fatal, that's 6 seconds for Fatal. Twiglet already has 9 seconds. So actually, it's been a bit frustrating for Fatal, but if you can get that gap down a bit, which he's already doing, you can still take that position. So, DRS is enabled once more then. So this is going to be a... would think that this is going to result in a chance for Volungus here. Chris doesn't have DRS as Lee picks up 3 seconds. We've got a sector 1 yellow. Oh, it's Fatal. So Volungus already directly side by side with Chris when he got the DRS. So up into P5 is the Alpha Tauri, who are now running 4 and 5 with the guys ahead of X11 having penalties as well. So more changes at the front now. Daguna now leads. Junkies dropped to second. Of course, Daguna has the 6 seconds. Lismore drops down. He dropped down, or did he actually just... I think he might have had a look at Chris. Got his nose ahead for a second, but dropped back again. But please, doesn't look like anybody's driving silly at the moment. I don't know what happened at turn 1. That spun Fatal round, but... sometimes when you have a late safety car and there's a big switch to softs, people start going a bit mad, but not really seeing that in the moment. There's been a couple of little touches here and there, but nothing major that we've seen. Mr. Gunnar sets fastest lap. Now he's got clean air, of course. You'd expect that. As Lee and Lycorius side by side there, a bit of contact. And Fatal's had a spin and set to 3. Just getting his... So here Lycorius just needs to follow him through Eau Rouge as KK gets ahead of Junkie Emperor. Which you would think would be a relatively easy overtake. Oh my goodness, where did they come from? Oh, and then Hunter's disappeared another second and a half back. What is going on? Oh goodness me, are we getting desyncs at the end? Oh, and Hunter's out. Hunter is out. I don't know if that's to do with a desync because he was jumped all over the screen. I'm going to see where he is. Directly ahead of us on the left hand side. Really odd place, and I reckon he desynced. As Pete gets ahead of Chris for P8. Let's go to the leaders as they are heading up to the bus stop chicane, and it is going to be Daguna will cross the line first. KK will get promoted, but then Junkie Emperor will jump both of them. So it is a Ferrari win, but it is for Junkie Emperor. Cardin King takes a brilliant P2, and I'm so pleased for X11 that he has ended up on the podium in P3, where he deserves to be after the qualifying. Daguna drops to 4th then. That's what penalties do. But he's usually so good at not getting the penalties, but this evening just didn't work for him. Lismore finishes a strong P5. Oh look, there's rain. Bit late rain, but there is. Belungis P6, Pete 7, Twiglet 8. I'll count down the rest of them. Again gives driver the data of Belungis, but oh, do you know what? It's a really tough one for me tonight. Junkie's won the race, stayed penalty free, which puts him in the potential for it. But I don't know. I was really impressed with X11. The fact that he kind of got done over by the game a bit at the start of the race, like me, desynced and dropped down, and then all sorts went wrong for him, and he ended up well down the order at one point, but kept it going, kept going, stayed penalty free himself, and his oh no, he didn't. He did pick up 3 seconds, but kept it to 3 seconds. Then that might make the difference. Then that might make the difference. So yeah, sorry X11, but actually your 3-second penalty has just robbed you a drive of the day, and it's going to go to Junkie Emperor instead, who did stay penalty free to win this race. So Daguna also picking up fastest lap. That's another one to point out. Let me just quickly, I just scroll through these. I'm not going to read them all out because I want to go to Race Director and get incidents in case the stewards need them. Go on, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. Oh, I didn't get through them all. Darn it, they got most of them. But oh, that was fun. That was a good, fun race. Yeah, fair play, Junkie Emperor. Congratulations on your win. That's what can happen when you stay penalty free, buddy. The Gooner and KK, you had a fantastic race together, guys. It was fun to watch. So well done. Again, penalties. Darn them. Well done, X11. I thought you drove a fantastic race, and I would have given you driver of the day if you hadn't have picked up a 3-second penalty. But because Junkie stayed penalty free to win the race, I'm awarded him driver of the day. But nah, well done, guys. I quite enjoyed it. There was a few little moments here and there, but you know, guys, if there's any issues, put a ticket in. Don't argue, please. Just put a ticket in and let the steward sort it. Yeah, ultimately, I actually did it. I really enjoyed that. That was good fun. Fun qualifying as well. So yeah, I enjoyed that all the way through. Bit of a shame of the desync issues at the start of the race. Not just for the drivers involved, but for us who were watching as well. It affected me as well. So, but once we got back in, it was a good race to watch. Enjoyed that. Anyway, as always, guys, that's the end of my commentating for Sunday night. So, thank you very much to all of you that have watched live at all. Thank you to everyone that watches it back at a later point. I really appreciate it. So do the leagues, Wheelspin Racing and Hybrid. Both really appreciate it as well. So thank you ever so much. We'll be back next week. My phone's turned off, so I can't tell you where we are next week. But we'll be back again 8 PM next week. Don't forget HRF1 is races Mondays as well. Don't have a comms guy at the moment for Mondays. I race, so we don't have somebody to do comms right now. If anybody watching would like to help out and do comms, even if it was just to be in the interim until we could get something more permanent, that would be really appreciated. Please just get in contact and we'll sort that out. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. Good night. Enjoy what's left of your weekends and have a good week. See you soon. Just to say that I will be back on Tuesday for JD's League at 6 PM and then WAOF1 at 8 PM. Good night. God bless.